What's going on, guys? SolgrOnly here from Sports Nerd Web. Welcome to this week's episode of Sports Nerd Web Weekly. This week it's kind of going to be a shorter episode. This week it's kind of after the busy fall season of the video games and the holiday season. We going into the new year, the video game industry has definitely slowed down lately, but we do have some amazing games to look forward to coming in the very near future. First of all, one of the biggest things to be announced recently, the other day, BioWare finally announced the official release date for Mass Effect Andromeda, and it is going to be in March, like I figured it was going to be, and pretty much what most of the rumors had been saying for quite a while. And it's going to be releasing on March 21st in the US, and then it will be launching internationally on March 23rd. So that's good to finally get a confirmed release date. With the release date being announced this close to it, I think it's pretty safe to say that I don't think that we should expect any delays or anything like that. As far as I know, I don't think they announced that the game had gone gold or anything like that. So, but I'm definitely stoked for that game because if you've been following the channel, you know that I recently got into the Mass Effect series, period, and I have been playing a bit of the first one. I haven't gotten into the second or third one yet. I like most people who hadn't gotten into the series, of course, I was actually trying to beat the whole original trilogy before Andromeda was released, but I highly doubt that that's going to happen with the deluge of great games that have been coming out, and of course, with Destiny being, my daily game that I still play a ton of, Borderlands 2, I play a lot of Warframe lately, and then of course, the game I'm going to be talking about here in a minute, Resident Evil 7, is coming out soon, so. But the good thing with Mass Effect Andromeda is that it's actually kind of a reboot in a kind of a weird way because it's a new character. It doesn't really have much to do with the original trilogy. From what I heard is that there will be kind of callbacks to that. I can't remember the exact time frame, but it takes place definitely sometime after the original trilogy. I can't remember the exact amount of time for some reason. I want to say it was like 50 years later or something like that, but don't quote me on it. I'm not 100% positive of that. So, but yeah, March 21st in the US, and then internationally March 23rd. So stay tuned to the channel for that around that time, and I'll start uploading some Andromeda content. And as I said just a minute ago, Resident Evil 7 is actually coming out January 24th. So we should be seeing that really soon. It's going to be coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC as well. When we first, I love what Capcom's doing with this game because I've been a huge Resident Evil fan my entire life. If there's one game franchise that, like, if someone had asked and I had to pick, what game franchise, like, over your whole life have you been the biggest fan of, it's easily Resident Evil. I mean, it ain't hard to tell that right now, obviously, my favorite game right now is Destiny, but as a franchise as a whole, over my whole life of gaming, like, I've always been a huge Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil 4 is probably my favorite one in the series, like most fans. Resident Evil 5 was still good, but then 6, it was, it's just the fan in me, I still liked it to some extent, but they were definitely going down a path that a lot of fans didn't like. And it was definitely where it's starting to wear thin even for me. So when I saw the trailer for Resident Evil 7 back at E3, last year's E3, I was so hyped right off the bat. When just how they unveiled it and how the trailer went, it was awesome. Like, the trailer was going, and at first I was kind of thinking, like, what is this? It was this first person view. It harkened back a lot to Silent Hill's PT, the PT demo, and it evokes a lot of the same feeling that demo and that gameplay experience gave off. So at first I was kind of thinking that it might have been maybe like PT was coming back, that maybe the project had picked back up or something like that. But at the end, when the Resident Evil logo came up, it flashed Resident Evil, and then how they had the Roman numeral 7 inside the V and the I in the part of the L, the back part of the L. So it was really neat how they announced it as Resident Evil 7. And I think they're doing what they have to do. They're taking a big risk. Capcom is taking a huge risk by, they're going to a first-person view. Of course, they're drawing a lot of comparisons to PT, even though the game never came out. But just that demo and that experience, was so good, and it had such a huge reaction in the industry. So, and of course, it's going to be quite interesting to see how good this game sells, because since PT was canceled, never came out, and all that, and then now we have Resident Evil 7 coming that evokes a lot of those same emotions, and it's drawing a lot of comparisons to that experience. So it's like I'm wondering if maybe a lot of people that they're necessarily not Resident Evil fans, but they were really looking forward to PT, maybe they get Resident Evil 7 because it's similar to it, and so it's gonna be really interesting to see. I'm stoked for it. I think I like what I was starting to say is, like, Capcom's doing exactly what they needed to do. They needed to strip, I mean, a lot of Resident Evil fans actually wanted them to do a complete reboot, which I also wouldn't have really had a problem with that, because the series has been going on for so long. This year, Capcom is actually celebrating Resident Evil's 20th anniversary as well. So the franchise has been going on for 20 years. And over that time, obviously, it's the lore and all that has gotten pretty deep and pretty convoluted and stuff. So I wouldn't be opposed to a reboot, at some point, to kind of reboot the story and the lore and all that, and kind of start with a fresh start. And it kind of seems that they're kind of doing this to some extent in this. From what I gather is that it's taking place 4 years after Resident Evil 6, so it is picking up after Resident Evil 6. So, and from what I understand is that it takes place in it's a fictional southern town. I think it's called like Derby or something like that. But it takes place in a mansion in kind of like the Louisiana bayous kind of area, and the character you are is this new character, and he's looking for his wife that he had thought had been dead for 3 years, but for whatever reason, he's looking for her at this mansion. And I've heard some stuff from I can't remember who it was at Game Informer, but they actually got to play quite a bit of Resident Evil 7. I think he said around 4 hours, and he liked it. And I've heard this from a few people in the industry. I think some others from IGN or something. I can't really remember where it was from. But from everything that I've heard from people in the industry that have played it, they all had a great time with it, and they're all really looking forward to it too. And that definitely gets me more stoked for it as well, because like I said, I still even like 6 to some extent, probably more than most people did, but like I said, it was fun. It was starting to really wear thin and all that. So I always get so hyped when there's a new Resident Evil coming out, especially when it's a new official number, Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, 7, when it's one of those and not like one of their spin-offs. I have been playing Resident Evil Revelations 2 to some extent. I never played the first Revelations, and what I have played of Revelations 2, it is really good so far. I'm not that far into it. It's actually been kind of a while since I have played it, but the last time I played it is I streamed it, and I think it might have been in October, because I think I was streaming a horror game, because it was in the month of October, I think was when I streamed it. But yeah, but I'm also, as just kind of a quick channel update as well, I was finally able to get a PC, so we're also my Twitch streaming sometime really soon in the near future. I should be getting back up to streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. So, but because I definitely obviously want to stream Resident Evil 7 and Mass Effect Andromeda, and also if I remember right, I think Horizon Zero Dawn is another game that I am I'm way stoked for. I think that's end of February. It's either end of February or right at the beginning of March as well. I think it's end of February, I want to say. But another one, I think it's in March as well too, is Ghost Recon Wildlands. That's another one I've kind of been looking to for a while. So uh, 2016 was a phenomenal year in video games. On our next episode of our podcast, actually, me and Fuchsia Only are actually going to be going over some of our favorite games and movies and TV shows, and just kind of a big year in review of 2016 and looking ahead into 2017. And we kind of overextended our holiday break on the podcast, but we should be recording it after I do this video, so that should probably be up later tonight as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, 2016 was an amazing year in video games, and already 2017 is looking like it can top that. I mean, look at all the great games that I've just talked about in just this video, and they're all coming out within the first 3 months. I mean, we've only been talking about up to March, so this year's definitely looks like it's going to be off to a good start. Stay tuned to the channel in the near future for some Resident Evil 7 content coming, first impressions, reviews, and, probably some gameplay video and possibly a Let's Play, maybe a stream or something. So yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, rate that video, sub to the channel for more content, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.